Available oxygen is about 50% less. Morning from Kambachen. Yeah, it was a rough night for me. I think I was a little dehydrated. Started getting a little bit of a headache, so as a precaution took one Diamox just in case it was a altitude thing, but feeling much better this morning. Getting ready to have some breakfast, some Tibetan bread, which is basically like a fried dough, kind of like a donut, and we've been pretty much eating that for breakfast every morning. I was eating chapatis, but these were heartier and filled me up more, felt like they gave me more energy. So today we have another acclimatization day in Kambachen, and I think we're going to be doing, it's called the Jannu Base Camp. It's like a 4-hour round trip. It's going somewhere up there, somewhere over there. 2 hours up, 2 hours down. Gain like 600, maybe 600 feet or something like that. Maybe 1,000, I don't know. We made it to Jannu Base Camp. It took us 3 hours. We're going pretty slow though. Tremendous views here. It's just amazing. On the way up, we saw a disappearing glacier. I mean, it's pretty much almost gone on the right as we were headed up, and then on the left slopes, saw a ton of blue sheep, and then just epic views of Jannu here, and then the peaks across the way. So this is a place where they do a ceremony for the Rai and Limbu people. Come up here last weekend in October, or last week in October, first week in November. 300 people will come up here, and that's why you see all the prayer flags. It's like a big ceremony here. They worship Jannu, I guess it's as some like a deity or something like that. They're not Hindu and they're not Buddhist, so they have their own kind of tribal religions. It's pretty amazing. Not bad for a quick day hike. This is a monument here of all the Rai and Limbu people who donated, and the name of the people and the amount they donated to make this this base camp, this house lodge here, and then there's a temple on the other side. Took a lot of donations. They have a little helicopter landing pad over there, so they must have flown a lot of supplies up, I would imagine. Probably cheaper to fly it than, or at least less time than putting it on a donkey. Well, today's the big day. Headed up to Lhonak, which is the highest point that we'll be sleeping at. It's I believe it's like 4,700 meters, 4,800 meters, something like that. And after that, tomorrow we will be doing a day trip to Pang Pema, which is the North Kanchenjunga Base Camp. So today's going to be probably the hardest day. You know, the highest elevation I'll be going with my big bag. Tomorrow I'll be taking a small bag for the day trip, but just fueled up on some Tibetan bread with peanut butter, by the way, which this is the first place that we've seen on the trek that's had peanut butter. And man, I appreciate that. I appreciate the journey that that peanut butter has had to go on, probably from all the way out in Kathmandu all the way out here, having undergone that journey myself. Man, I really appreciate that peanut butter. We're looking at 4 to 5 hours, hopefully, to Lhonak, and then get a good night's sleep, take off early tomorrow. And it's going to be like an 8 or 9 hour day up to Pang Pema, Kanchenjunga Base Camp. Hopefully we have good weather, nice views of the mountain, the 3rd highest mountain in the world and the 2nd highest in Nepal. I really enjoyed the Kambachen. I really dig this vibe here. It's a lot like Gunsa, except the mountains that surround this little valley here are bigger. The moon's still out above those peaks over there. Something interesting about this upper region that I learned, if you look around, you're not going to see too many big trees where you can get, you know, wood for making fires, for cooking and staying warm and stuff. And so occasionally you'll see these rocks with these big brown mounds kind of laying out on them, drying out. And what that is actually yak dung. And they dry the yak dung out for 1 to 3 months, depending on, you know, how powerful the sun is. And they use that to make fires with. And so when you get up this high, you will see some timber, some wood used, but also saw probably about 50% of the time they're using the yak dung as well. So meals cooked with yak dung, I think it probably helps give a little flavor, you know, like when you're barbecuing with cedar, oak, wood chips, you know, give a little extra tang, extra smoky flavor, that yak dung smoky flavor. No, but anyway, that's, you know, it's just out of necessity, survival. No big trees. I mean, it's kind of like a pretty much high desert, this kind of plateau, this valley area, high desert. You got to make do with what you have, and there's a lot more yak dung available than there is big timber. And I imagine whatever wood they do have, they have to bring up from lower elevations back through all those big trees we passed through a couple towns back. But just a little tidbit wanted to pass on. Also, they burn this, they call it like an incense. It's almost like some type of conifer tree they burn every morning. And it's got a distinct smoky smell, part of like a morning prayer ritual or something like that. Kind of like a puja. So we reached the Kanchenjunga waterfall, which is said to be holy because the story goes that at one time 8 Indian saints bathed in this waterfall, and those Indian saints are revered or were revered in Tibet, and ever since then the waters of the waterfall are considered to be holy. So we're about 2 hours outside of Kambachen. We've come to this waterfall. Just came across this massive boulder field, and now we got some icy, snowy river crossing to get through. So we made it to Ramtang, which they don't have a lodge, but you can camp here. So we're just stopping to get some quick tea stop, and got maybe another hour and a half to Lhonak, and it's good day so far. Good day. Oh, here comes the tea. Thank you, Mongol. So Lhonak is in view. almost there, maybe 15 more minutes, so should be about 5 hours even. I feel like yesterday's acclimatization day, extra acclimatization day, definitely helped, because it didn't feel as tough as making it to Kambachen from Gunsa. There weren't as many steep climbs, so it was a good day. Nice lodge we got here at Lhonak. Looks brand new. A little bit of insulation actually, that's pretty cool. Look at this crazy view out the window though. But tomorrow we're gonna be probably heading out in the dark or right as the sun's coming up. Get an early start in case there's some bad weather. And big day, heading to Pang Pema, Kanchenjunga Base Camp. Today was not too bad. I'm surprised. I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good actually. Looking forward to chowing down on some lunch though. That's for sure. Enjoying this sun while it lasts, because when it goes down tonight, it is going to be freezing. Ma'am, do you have any comments for the people at home?
I'm happy.
I think that goes for both of us. We're definitely happy. It was a good day. Again, surrounded by tremendous mountains. Like, how could you not be happy? Well, today's the big day. Headed up to Pang Pema, otherwise known as Kanchenjunga North Base Camp. Looking at possibly 3 hours up, hang out a couple hours, and 3 hours back down. Right now, 6:30 in the morning, we got clear skies, no wind, so it's looking like it's going to be a beautiful day. So it's approximately -10 Celsius, if our thermometer is accurate. And first thing we encountered, because of the temperature, is the water and the camelback tube froze. But luckily it was just the tube right near the mouthpiece, so I was able to crunch on the tube, bust up the ice, suck it through. That was a good technique to know, I guess, in case your camelback tube freezes up. Don't know what we'll do if the whole camelback freezes up though. As we're moving towards base camp, on the right here is the part of the Kanchenjunga glacier. You can see pockets of that blue glacial ice poking out, and a lot of it is covered with this rock fall. But as you can see, it's receding as well. You can see the high glacier mark and this ravine here where it used to have ice flowing through it. This yet another glacier disappearing. Climbing high up above this rock slide. I don't know how much higher we're gonna go, but this is pretty brutal. Well, we made it. Kanchenjunga Base Camp, third highest mountain in the world. Right now we're sitting at about 5,200 meters. And available oxygen is about 50% less than what it would be at sea level. Today was a tough day, although we did stop for half hour, 45 minutes to check out these blue sheep. There was a herd of blue sheep that we saw on the way that was beautiful. So we made it about 4 hours and 20 minutes and plenty of rest stops. And we stopped, it might have even been an hour we stopped to look at those blue sheep. Top of the world, second highest peak in Nepal, or I should say mountain in Nepal, second highest mountain in Nepal. They have different definitions for peaks. It's between 6,000 and 7,000 meters. Above 7,000 meters is a mountain. And here we are. Pretty clear day, actually. It's impossible to perceive the actual depth, to take in the immense nature of these mountains. I mean, that is so far away. I mean, that's across the glacier over there, Padibara, and then Kanchenjunga is even further beyond that. So like, it plays an optical illusion on you. They kind of look similar heights, but because that's way far away, you don't realize how much higher that is than Padibara right here. So we left Kathmandu 12 days ago and started walking 9 days ago. So we've been walking for 9 days. Finally got here, the North Base Camp, also known as Pang Pema, the North Base Camp of Kanchenjunga. We're going to be going back down to Gunsa one of these days and crossing the Salele Pass and 2 other passes and headed to the south side, to South Base Camp of Kanchenjunga. So there's plenty more adventure to come on this. We probably got at least another 10 days left before we're back in Kathmandu.
Infamous.